Hey guys, so here's a little help for section 9.5. This is your geometric series. So we are going to be paying attention. We've got a new formula here for geometric. Remember, a geometric series is where you are multiplying to get from one term to the next. And if you are doing the sum of a series, you're going to use this formula right here. It's on page 723. And I went ahead and worked this example 1 for you. I just kind of worked that out. Again, you're just going to plug in like A1 is your first term. That would be negative 15 here. Again, I think I said that, but we're on page 723. All right, so 1 minus, okay, R is the common ratio between the terms. In other words, like, what's going on here in this sequence? What are they doing to get from one term to the next? Well, I don't know if you can tell or not, but they're multiplying by negative 2. If you do negative 15 times negative 2, you get positive 30. 30 times negative 2 is negative 60, and so on and so forth. If for some reason you are thinking, I don't know that I would have known that, all you have to do is take any term and divide it by its preceding term, and that will be what your R value is. So it's real easy to find. All right, so R is negative 2. The little bitty n exponent here, that's the number of terms. And obviously here, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 terms. And then on the bottom, 1 minus the ratio, so 1 minus negative 2. So that's actually pretty simple. It's large, but very simple to type that in your calculator, and you should get 315. So that one was not difficult. I went ahead and worked, even though this is one of your homework problems, I just went ahead and worked number 1 on the next page, page 724, because it's pretty hard. Notice on this number 1, it's a little different from the one I just worked because there's a bunch of stuff missing. Could you find all the missing stuff? Sure. And then just add it all up? You could do that. And technically, you could do that on the one I just worked. You really could just add up those 6 numbers. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. However, if you have a really, really, really long list, like that's fairly long, well, actually, that's really long, going all the way to 2,000, you're definitely not going to want to find all those missing things and then add all that up. So we're definitely going to want to use our formula here. The problem is, I can find my R. I didn't write that down, but my R is 2 because, you're multiplying by 2. It's a negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. Negative 10 times 2 is negative 20, etc. You're multiplying by 2. So that's your R and everything else you have, but you don't have your N value here. N is the number of terms, and we don't have a clue how many there are. So that's kind of a problem. So we're going to have to do an extra step on this problem. We're going to have to use our geometric sequence formula that we learned back in, I think it was section 9.3. And that would be this formula here. So I plugged in my last term, my first term, my R, I don't know my N, and then you solve from there. Do not do negative 5 times 2, whatever you do. That's multiplication before exponents, and you cannot do that. Divide out the negative 5 onto the other side. You get 512. You cannot divide by 2 here. That's a base for that exponent. So we're going to have to do something that we learned right before spring break. I just kind of rewrote this so it's not backwards. I just swapped the order. But that's an exponential equation, and the way to solve an exponential equation is logarithms. That's the whole reason we learned those. So I had to do log base 2 of 512 equals n minus 1. That you can type in your calculator, you get 9, add over the 1, and you get 10. So I realized that's fairly complicated there, so I just wanted to take a moment and show you that. That gave me n is 10. Once you know n is 10, you're good to go. You just plug in your stuff, you can type that entire thing in the calculator, and that part is simple. It's just this part right here that is a little bit complicated to get your n. So I hope that helps. That was number 1. I didn't actually finish number 1. You need to type that in the calculator to actually get the answer, but that's how you do that. I'm going to continue the rest of it on a separate video.